I mean, I guess we really are in the Matrix because we just tried to live stream and the connection timed out, and now
Hmm.
it's trying again.
It
There,
says
it's
live for
redirecting.
me.
Yep, it says live for me too.
Okay, so it works. Okay, good. Okay.
I wonder if it's the same link though. Let me just double check.
I sure hope so, because I'm sharing it everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. I'm gonna mute the site before I start getting an echo. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so I want to start with what I believe to be the most important part of this. Um, there is a major Google update that just rolled out.
Okay.
And for a little backstory, to a few things. First of all, I am not a Google expert at all. So, I
I
can't give,
consider you a Google expert, but honestly,
well, the
that's
real
compared to
Google,
me. Compared to me, you're like
okay,
my
fine.
Google expert.
But the real Google experts are literally in Las Vegas right now together in a conference.
Okay.
I was invited to go join one of the Google experts, Marie Haynes, in Vegas, but I just couldn't make it work. It just didn't make sense at the time. But right now, I'm having some serious FOMO
Okay.
because two people that I follow, Marie Haynes and Lily, are in Vegas right now for PubCon, and they're doing the SEO talks for PubCon.
Okay.
And there is this weird trend that when Marie Haynes travels, that Google runs an update.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's very strange and very true.
Is
Now,
it like they
Marie,
know she's
it's
traveling?
weird, right? Like, I think she's actually with a couple of people from Google right now. But
Okay.
yeah, it's a very strange thing. And for perspective, Marie Haynes is, well, she's kind of like the go-to expert for Google search and Google
Okay.
algorithm updates. Like, she wrote the book, like literally wrote the book on the helpful content update.
Oh, wow.
She wrote the
Okay.
book.
I've heard you mention her name a couple of times, and I think
Yeah.
she's yeah, yeah. So continue.
So, yeah, she is the accepted expert in the field of
Okay.
Google search. Okay. And I have been fortunate enough to become friends with her, but mostly I just try to learn from her. So there's just been this weird thing that happens when she travels. So Lily is a SEO expert out of New York City for an agency, and she's very highly regarded in the industry. And it's very rare for both of them to be in the same place at the same time. So
Okay.
I said, guys, this is going to happen. We're going to get the big Google update. So here we are. But today has not just been a big Google update. Here are the things that are going on. So we've had this massive Google update. My understanding is it's the biggest one that's happened since I started blogging.
Okay.
Um, we also just had a major iOS update that might not sound too major because it's just like iOS 17 point something, but I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
explain in a minute why it's a really big deal, in my opinion. I haven't heard anybody else talk about this yet. Um, and then we, of course, had the Meta outage today. And
Yep,
on
yep,
top of
yep.
all of that, in the United States, it's Super Tuesday. So everything's just
Explain
feeling
to the
very.
non-US people what Super Tuesday is, or not even the non-US people, but the people that just don't care.
So, yeah, okay. So Super
Just being
Tuesday is
honest.
when the bulk of the states have the election for primary elections. So basically, if you're a Republican, you're voting for who you want to be the Republican nominee. And if you're a Democrat, you're voting for who you want to be the Democratic nominee. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's what Super Tuesday is. It was weird to have Meta, which owns so many things, go down this morning on the morning of Super Tuesday. It's a little conspiracy theorist, just fun stuff. Not, I'm confident that's not what it is, but do we know why Meta went down?
I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
But I'll let you know as soon as I see something come up about it.
Okay. So let's talk about um the first thing that I care about the most.
I'm like, which first thing? There's so
Okay.
many
I
first
want
things.
to I want to actually start with iOS. Okay? I'm
Okay,
going to
let's start with
share my
iOS.
screen to show a few random things.
Sure.
Um So to explain why and I could be so wrong, my perception of all this could be so far off.
I
But
mean, sure, all of our perceptions could be completely off.
right, because I try, I'm a blogger, so my primary job is to create content and publish it. But as a blogger, you have to pay attention to certain things.
Yeah.
And there is a major lawsuit happening right now with Google that the U.S. government is suing Google for antitrust. I think it
Okay.
is.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, okay, I think it's antitrust. And what they're saying is that Google pays, well, and this is true. So Google pays Apple to be the primary search um, engine behind a browser, which in most cases is Safari. Most people just default to Safari. So it pays Apple like $60 billion a year or some crazy number, ridiculous sum of money to
Okay.
be the default search engine browser. No, I'm sorry, default search engine for the Safari browser. So it's
So
important that I
Google
get that right.
Google pays that.
Google pays ridiculous. Apparently, it pays so much money that it is 1/3 of Apple's yearly revenue. So
That's insane.
it is. And that Bing and other DuckDuckGo and other search engines are saying that this is not fair and
Right.
that this hurts the consumer, the user, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because Google is the default search. Now, you can technically go in, if you know how, and change your default search engine
Right.
to DuckDuckGo or Bing or whatever you want, one of the other ones, but you got to know how to do it. By default on Safari, it is Google. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been this massive lawsuit been going on for, for a long time now. It's like a 9-month long lawsuit. It's a really big deal. Well, I noticed today that when they did the iOS 17.4 update, they have this, if you see it on my screen right
Mm-hmm.
here,
Mm-hmm.
about your default browser. Now, this is not about the search engine behind the browser, but it's interesting, and I've never seen this before, that they're now letting you choose your default browser.
Yeah, because on iOS, the
Mhm.
default browser is Safari, and you have to
Right.
change.
And the default search engine
And the
behind
default
Safari
search engine is Google.
is Google.
Right.
But this is new. What I find particularly interesting is the Google browser is not here in this list that I
Oh, it
see, at least
isn't.
towards the
Chrome
top.
isn't there.
That's right. And I find that to be fascinating. Um, and I want to understand more about what's going on here. But to me, this is kind of a big deal because maybe they're seeing the writing on the wall with the lawsuit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe this is going to give us some insight that Google's going to lose this lawsuit. And even though Apple's not the one being sued, it's about Apple. So
Yeah.
it has to have some type of impact on Apple, right?
Right, right.
And I know that Microsoft wanted to at least have the opportunity to have more competition in this arena
Yeah.
with Bing search. So I think that this is a space really worth paying attention to and seeing what's going to happen next and what are the impacts that's going to be. Because as it's currently set up, by the way, it's very clever because it gives the perception that we're going to get some more choice. But unless the search engine behind it, like in the next screen, are you able to choose your default search engine? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know yet. I haven't seen that, but
Well, and looking at these browsers, like, okay, I know Safari, I know Opera, I
uh-huh.
know Edge, I know Mozilla. It looks like Firefox is the one that's cut off. But like, I don't know Vivaldi. I don't
I
know
don't know them either.
WebOrc. I
Yeah.
don't know Onion browser.
Yeah.
Like the other ones, I'm like, I didn't even know those were browsers available.
Listen, I didn't either. And this is my business, and I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and also
Yes.
the reason that there are specific browsers that we use, especially, for my clients that are in the healthcare industry, there was a period of time like before Edge came out and it was just Microsoft Internet Explorer.
Uh-huh.
there were so many programs that you had to set up, like the compatibility, and it would only work in Internet Explorer. Like you could not make it work in Chrome.
See, that's
So
interesting. Wait a
so
minute.
for healthcare
Yeah, okay.
facilities, I do wonder, or not even just healthcare facilities, but for people that are dependent on specific functionalities that, obviously developers are going to focus on like the big ones, the most common ones, right? That's where they're going to put all their effort to make sure that it's a seamless user experience. And that is the Safaris, the Chromes, the maybe the Firefox. But like Opera, they're not going to bother about Opera, or at least they're not going to put as much effort into compatibility or functionality in an Opera browser than they will in Edge or Chrome, right?
Yeah,
So
I think,
how
yeah,
does that work?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think that there's a lot of things that are going to come up in this question. I don't know, but I say watch this space carefully because something's happening.
Okay,
This is
so this is the Google update.
no, no, no. This is the iOS update. This
Oh,
is
this is the
iPhone
iOS.
update.
See,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but the iOS update is kind of related to Google, but the Google update is something separate. Like the Google update that you want to talk about is something separate.
Well, this iOS update has a bunch of stuff in it, but this was the thing that caught my eye. A lot of it's, like bug fixes, security fixes.
Right.
They added some new emojis, just a whole bunch of stuff. Like, let's see, iOS 17.4. Let's see if we can, uh, okay, offers transcripts for Apple Podcasts. That's interesting.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Look at that. That's actually really neat. I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. Let's see what else are they talking about here. Uh, well, that's all that so they're just doing all kinds of updates, it looks like. Let me see if I can find something else. Okay, so they got new emojis. Um,
Oh, the bird, is it a bird or a phoenix? Oh, anyways, it's not important, but that was pretty cute.
so support for alternative app stores, which by the way, that's a big deal too, but it wasn't as relevant to me. But this has been a big conversation because I think that Apple currently in a lawsuit about this, or were they threatening the government threatening a lawsuit about this, where they were saying
Um,
that they own the App Store thing?
they own the App Store thing. What do you
Okay.
mean? Is this like the payments? Like
Yeah.
when you do the
So,
subscription or whatever, and then Apple takes a chunk of the
right.
subscription. Oh, okay.
Exactly. And they also gatekeep what does and does not get to go into the store, right? So now they're
Yeah.
going to
Okay.
do alternate payment options, alternate app stores, and you can set a default browser, which we just discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then of course the new emojis. I don't know what these mean, do you?
Shaking head, nodding head.
Oh, okay.
At least that's how I read it
No,
because
that's
it's
perfect.
got the
I'm sure that's what it
whooshes.
is.
So I'm like, okay, so shaking and nodding. Got it.
That's awesome. Okay.
But right, like doesn't that look like a phoenix because the bird has
Yeah.
flames? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right. And then of course the transcript for podcasts that we just discussed.
Yep.
And then stolen device protection. Okay.
Okay. All right. The stolen device protection, sure. Like I think that's kind of a necessary thing, right?
Sure. Yeah. Um, so that's that. But let's move on to the big stuff. Because believe it or not, that's not the big stuff.
Okay.
So Google, just let me go find my I've been a little tweeting fool today. So this right here, I want to talk about this tweet, but I want to talk about it in a minute. This one right here from Lily. Um,
So tell me again who Lily is.
I will, yeah, hold that thought. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
So Google just announced their March 2024 core update. So the last time that we had a core update was in December 23rd. No, I'm so sorry. That's not right. I'll have to come back. So this is the March 2024 update. It's been quite a while since we had a core update.
Okay.
And from what I understand, from what someone that I'm in her community is telling me, is this is the biggest one that Marie Haynes, this is the biggest one in a very long time.
Okay.
So one core update means that they are making major updates to their algorithm. And what that means is major updates to how things rank on Google. Okay.
Okay.
So a few particularly interesting things. They have a new spam policy. I'm just going to give a highlight and then we'll go back to a few things. An expired domain abuse, which to me is very interesting.
Okay.
Scaled content abuse, which is fascinating. And those are the ones that are the biggest. Now, another thing that they did that is a really, really, really big deal is that the helpful content update, which we've talked about in the past, is that thing that nailed our website. It is
Yep.
getting they're rerunning it and it is now going to be part of the core update. If I understand that correctly, it is going to be part of the core moving forward, which means if I understand that correctly, what that means is that it won't be some special update that runs in the future. It'll just be
The
part of the
update.
core. So
Okay.
it'll just be part of the algorithm moving forward. Let me go look something up here. Um, so if you notice, they're running a spam update and a core update. The last time we had one was November 8th, was when the
Mm.
last update that we had. And that was just a reviews update. November 2nd was the last core update. They don't run core updates that often. You can see before that, the last core update was August 22nd of last year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with this one, they have told us that this one will likely run for a month. Since I have been tracking these and been a part of this whole thing, I haven't ever seen them tell us how long it's going to take. And to me, I think that is a sign of how big of a deal this update is that they're telling us up front it's going to take 30 days for this to run. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And so this means they're making some serious changes. And one of the things it, let's go to the expired domain abuse. This one stands out to me because what happens a lot is that bloggers, especially SEO bloggers and in particular black hat bloggers, they
What's
tend
black hat?
to black
Sorry.
hat means people that are trying to skirt around the rules. White
Oh,
hat
okay, okay.
bloggers are people trying to play within the rules. Black hat are people trying to find loopholes.
Yeah.
Okay. And so anyway, it's just a different way, different style of doing it. Well, one of the most popular between white hat and black hat things to do is when you're going to start a new website is to go buy an expired domain that maybe has some authority, domain authority attached
Okay.
to it still. That way you're starting off in theory with some authority. But this is thing that has been abused a lot. I mean, literally expired domain abuse is where an
Mm-hmm.
expired domain name is purchased and repurposed primarily to manipulate search rankings by hosting content that provides little to no value to users. For example, someone might purchase a domain previously used by a medical site and repurpose that to host low quality casino related content, hoping to be successful in search. This is
Okay.
so common. And I am so glad to see that they have finally figured out a way to fix this problem. Hold on, I'm
Yeah.
thirsty. So I think this is a major thing. Um, I think most people aren't talking about this as much as the other pieces of this, But to me, this is a really big deal because it happens all the time that a domain has backlinks, people let it go, and then you buy it, but then the content's not relevant. So those links are going to something that's not relevant. And it may not even be as obscure as this was a medical website and now we're going to put a casino on it. It could
Okay.
be this is a recipe website, but the recipes are completely different on the new one, but they're trying to get those links. Well, those links were to other specific recipes. So it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't align and it's false authority is really what it is.
Okay. Okay. That
Yeah.
I'm understanding. I'm tracking
Okay.
so
Yeah.
far.
And so I'm really happy to see this one. But the other thing that I think is about to be a really big deal, there are going to be some really sad people in the world come real soon, is this scaled content abuse. This is going to get tricky because velocity on content production is important. And I think it has a lot to do with success. But so I don't want people to say, oh my God, am I releasing too many pieces of content a day? Because you know in your gut if what you're doing is releasing spammy content so that you can,
Mm-hmm.
publish tens of articles a day or hundreds of articles a day. But there
Yeah.
are people who have gotten the AI process to such a level that they can publish like 1,000 articles a day. And Google has been trying to work on how to combat that. So they
Yeah.
have released this scaled content abuse portion to the core update. Scaled content abuse is when many pages are generated for the primary purpose of manipulating search rankings and not helping users. This abusive practice is typically focused on creating large amounts of unoriginal content that provide little to no value to users. So, when all these AI, these large language models came out, people developed tools that you could put in a whole bunch of keywords. Like you could put in 100 keywords and it would create 100 articles and push it right to your WordPress for you. And then you
Mm-hmm.
just hit publish, 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 publish. You don't edit it. And Google was ranking those like crazy last year because it
Mm-hmm.
was new content. Google didn't have a good way to identify what was happening. So now Google's come up with a method. A lot of people were making a lot of money in a bit of time, and good on them. There's a lot of people that made a lot of money last year doing this. And I mean, I'm talking
Yeah.
large sums. Good
Right,
job.
right.
Go retire because those days are over now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's a lot of bad advice out there online about how to use these AI tools, and human editing is still important.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just want to reiterate that because I don't think that most people understand that.
Oh,
It,
because they think that AI is the answer to everything.
uh-huh. And I
Yeah.
use AI a lot. I use it a lot, but it goes through um 2 rounds of editing. We add on our own perspective. It is a good tool. It's an amazing tool. But you got to use it right. You got to make sure that what you're doing and what you're putting and publishing really helps someone. And listen, I got a lot of lessons I'm still learning about helpfulness and what is really good for a website, but don't just spray and play because it's not going to work anymore. Those
Yeah.
days are officially over. Here's your warning. So, yeah. So, this next thing, the site reputation abuse. This to me is my biggest pet peeve with Google, probably above everything right now. And this is going to go back to Lily Ray. So let me go find my Lily Ray tweet.
Yeah. So, and then you're going to explain who Lily Ray is
Hmm.
and this specific part of the update is important because I still don't know. I mean, I have a speculation, you
Hmm.
know, but it's
Yeah.
probably wrong.
Well, um, so Lily Ray is like, in my opinion, an SEO goddess,
Okay.
I should say. I mean, she is a director of SEO for a large agency. Um, in New York City. She talks about all of the she literally gets paid to travel around the world and speak about SEO. Plus, she runs a major SEO firm, the section for SEO for a firm. She's very knowledgeable.
Okay.
And she's also oddly a DJ.
I was
So
gonna say, look at her. She's a DJ.
she's a DJ, which is hilarious to me.
That's awesome.
But she is definitely I mean, my bookmarks for Twitter just go straight to her every day.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally I have her bookmarked just to give some perspective of how much I respect this
So
woman.
just like whatever she posts,
Oh
you
yeah,
like to
that's
get a
the
little
end.
update on. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, she said the 2-month warning for sites hosting low quality third party sponsored content, which is called Parasite SEO, is quite interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting that it's called Parasite SEO because I
That's what
think
it's
that makes it
called.
very clear what it is.
So, this is a kind of confusing topic that has become a really big deal. So, and a good example, I can't remember the keyword phrase, so I'm not going to Google it to show it off, but a good example is I think it was like if you Googled best air purifier.
Mm-hmm.
Harvard, yes, Harvard was the one that was ranking at the top for a review post of air purifiers.
Okay.
They're a college, not a review company. So
Mm-hmm.
what happened somewhere along the way, and I still find this confusing, so I'm going to do the best I can to explain this. But somewhere along the way, certain websites that have a very high authority to them figured out that they could make a lot of money if they rented out pages on their website to spammy affiliate places. So in that instance, for example, let's just go with the air purifier thing. Harvard said, hey, we have a high authority. We could sell pages on our site for somebody to write whatever they want and then
Mm-hmm.
link it to their site and they'll get all these backlinks, right?
Okay.
And they'll be high authority because they're from Harvard. And so therefore, let's just do that. Or they can put their affiliate links on there and they'll make a lot of money because we're Harvard. And
Sure.
that is inauthentic use of your domain. And this has been a huge problem and a huge complaint. And because if suddenly, like, I'll give you a literal perfect example of something that's very confusing.
All of this is very confusing.
I'm so sorry. I Googled today, how long can milk sit out? And the top ranking page was the Lang Law Firm.
The Lang Law Firm
Right,
about and when you're searching for how long can milk sit out.
right.
Okay.
That's not right. That's
No,
not
because
how it should
what
be.
does the law firm have to do with it? Like, do they have like a trial about people suing a milk company?
No, they were
Oh,
just,
okay.
yeah. So here's what Google says. Site reputation abuse is when third-party pages are published with little or no first-party oversight or involvement, where the purpose is to manipulate search rankings by taking advantage of the first-party site's ranking signals. So do
Okay.
you want me to re-explain that?
Yeah, please, because you said
Okay.
words and
Yeah, I
no
know. So
comprehension.
we know that Forbes.com is supposed to be a website about money, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But Forbes started creating content that was about the top 10 best tacos.
Okay.
For example, I made that
Yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah.
but and so what they're saying is that's not what you're known for. So therefore, we're going to stop ranking you for that. You
Okay.
shouldn't be renting yourself out to a blog, a food blogger, so that they can be on your site. Okay. So Such third-party pages included sponsored, advertising, partner, or other third-party pages that are typically independent of a host site's main purpose, which I think is the most important thing here, or produced without close oversight or involvement of the host site and provide little to no value to users. So I'm not, again, I am not Marie Haynes. I can't explain this stuff good enough, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is going to be really, really good in the long run for small websites if they talk about it properly. But however, what worries me is what Lily said. Apparently, because they don't want to de-rank large websites, because Google loves them the best, they're giving these high authority websites like Harvard or Forbes a 2-month warning to clean up their site before they start pushing their rankings down.
Okay, but why are they giving preferential treatment to these high ranking
Exactly.
sites?
Right.
Like, I feel like this is an opportunity to level the playing field, right? Like, so the
It
ones that
is.
are, yeah, the smaller blogs that or websites that put out content based on what they're known for, like what makes sense for them.
Right.
Yeah, that that makes sense. But is it because they generate so much revenue for Google? That's the reason why Google's trying to give them a little bit of a heads up, leeway, grace period, whatever it is.
I wish that I understood um what this is really about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why Google. Well, okay. Maybe it has something to do with the Google was originally created. When it was created, it had one ranking factor, and that was what they called page rank. And page rank was based upon whoever had the most backlinks.
Okay.
So I think that a lot of Google still operates on that, even though they have all these other algorithm updates. I think that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of Google still operates on that backlink thing. And as a result, it doesn't know what to do with itself if it doesn't rank websites that have really high backlinks. I don't
Okay.
know. Again, I wish I was in Vegas so that I could ask these questions because I just
Yeah.
have nothing but questions. Like I want to ask follow-ups to this because I didn't see this in the thing. So I don't know if she got this information in Vegas. I don't know
Well,
where she
this was
got it.
just yesterday. Or no, that was
No, no,
today.
no. This is
That was
today.
this afternoon. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is all today. Um,
Okay. Well,
so I don't know. So tell us what today was in 2020.
well, that so this day in 2020 was the day the entire world shut down. So March 4th, 2020 was the day that there was a global announcement that COVID-19 was officially declared a global pandemic. And then March 5th was when the entire world like literally came to a halt. And here we are, March 5th,
Mhm.
2024. And the internet has been brought to its knees because it wasn't just a US thing. Like the Meta outage was a global Meta outage. Now,
Right.
granted, that was just Meta, right? And then you've got this Google update, or I'm sorry, not just update. What is it called?
Google Core
Core.
update.
The Google Core update. That's something that affects everything all over the
Hmm.
world globally, right? And
Right.
then the iOS update was one another thing that, it's not just a US specific thing, even though we here in the United States think that the world revolves around us and that everything
Yes,
happens
we think that.
to us. I'm just saying everything that's happened today is it's affecting everyone. It's not just in the United States. Like the AT&T outage, that was a US specific thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Right.
was
It
US
was. Yeah.
specific. And
Yeah.
that was a pretty big deal.
Yes,
But
it was.
to me, there's a huge difference between something that just affects like a certain area versus something that affects everyone who uses it. And the internet is something that everyone uses.
Well, and Google is the largest search engine by many times over. By the
Mm-hmm.
way, partially thanks to Apple. Let me see if I can
Oh,
find how much
well, I remember when Google became a verb because before you would say, "Oh, let me look it up or let me search for it or whatever." But nobody ever said like, "Let me Yahoo this" or "Let me ask Jeeves this." There was none of that, right? But all of a sudden everyone back in what was it? Like the late 90s or mid 90s where whenever it was that Google search engine became like the
mm,
place to go. Um yeah, now it's, oh, let me just Google it.
yeah, you're totally right. And okay, so 18 billion. Apparently Google pays Apple 18 billion a year to be the default search engine.
That's a lot. That is so much. Wait, what? Okay. So here's another question. And
Okay.
this could be like completely left field based on what we're talking about right now. But when it comes to conceptualizing like that much money or currency exchanging hands, right? Like, so does that mean, because like there's a difference between net worth and like cash worth, right? Like if your net worth is $1 billion, it's not like you have $1 billion sitting in the bank. You have things worth certain amounts of money, whether it's real estate or stocks or, in Taylor Swift's case, like her discography, like, like,
Yeah.
because I will always find a reason to pull it back to Taylor Swift.
Amen. Yes.
No, but like when somebody says my net worth is X amount, they're not saying that's how much I have liquid in the bank. So when you're saying that Google pays Apple $18 billion a year, is that what it was? Or
Yeah,
just
annually.
okay, annually? Is that like exchanging of shares?
I don't think
Like
so.
or is it's like legit, here is $18 billion worth of gold
Yes, it's that.
and here you go.
Let's see if we can find out how much how much did Google make in revenue? Okay, in 2022.
279 279.8 billion.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Oh
you're
wait, no,
nicer
no.
than I
I'm so
am. you
sorry.
you always accept all
305.
cookies, and I'm
Yeah.
always like reject all, strictly necessary only.
Yeah. I'm a blogger, so I say yes to everything.
Oh,
Um, 2023 was $305 billion that Google made.
and 18 billion of that they paid to
Apple.
Apple.
Let's see what Apple's was. Apple revenue 2023. Oh, they underperformed. Poor Apple. They only made 383 billion. Aw, I'm
Okay,
so sad for them.
but like 18 billion of 305 billion is 6% almost.
Well, what percentage of search comes from iPhone? I love how I'm doing all this live. Over 50% of Google's search business goes through an Apple device. Okay, so think about that. I'd say that they did a pretty good job. They only had to pay 18 billion. I'm surprised they don't have to pay more.
That's true.
Because that money was just Google's money. That wasn't, the other divisions of
Right.
Alphabet.
Yeah. And see that once again, I think you and I have talked about it before. If you take one step further back, it's like, okay, well, at what point is it just like a monopoly? Because really, if you think about it, there's only a handful of companies
Yeah.
like up here that own everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like they own everything.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see if we can see Alphabet revenue 2023. Okay, 307.4. So maybe that other number did include Google.
Well, the other number was 305.
Oh, you're right. Okay. It's so
Because
much
there's
money.
there's no way that Alphabet only made like the other
Yeah, I see
branches,
what you're saying. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Only
yeah.
oh, they only made another like $2.4 billion.
Yeah. That's it. That's all.
That's
Just a
all.
little bit.
Just just yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So those are just a few things going on today. And I feel like they're very important. Oh, Google just tweeted again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're just reiterating.
Okay.
Um, May
Oh,
the
look,
internet.
Lily Ray, wait, scroll down again. So Lily Ray actually made an announcement. Oh, another opportunity for Google to launch all the updates this week. That was on the 3rd.
Yeah.
Marie Haynes and I will be at an SEO conference together. And then today they
Yeah.
released.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
so funny.
She made a little GIF. Turn Marie.
Oh, Marie.
Yeah. Yeah. This was all of us just chatting back to her, like, oh yeah, everybody's like, oh yeah, definitely for sure. Um, because I said, hold on, let me go find it. Hold on.
Wow,
I have
you're
tweeted.
so active on Twitter. Like if you look at my Twitter, I think the last time I posted anything was, years ago.
Here it is. Dear Google, I misspelled Marie, but Lily Marie are traveling. Bloggers are haggard and tired. Can you please take this moment to fix the algorithm with a new update? This was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Some of the stuff, so maybe we can go on summer vacation and enjoy our families.
I
So
mean,
there you go.
yep. So I just opened up my Twitter, by the way. The last time I posted something was the 26th of June, 2020.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's the last time I posted an original thought. And it was, I had a dream that Justin Long, the actor, showed up to our open house with a huge cutout of a realtor business card. And instead of a picture, there was a hole for him to stick his head in. And I will say, so I posted that, right?
Yeah.
And Justin Long actually responded to me on Instagram because I did it on Twitter and I posted it on Instagram and he responded to me on Instagram saying, "Oh my God, I had the exact same dream." And I felt so like I was like, "Oh my gosh, Justin Long responded to me. That's so amazing."
That's great. Yeah,
But
I'm very active on Twitter.
you are so active on Twitter. And yeah.
Look, this is our website in progress.
Ooh.
It's obviously placeholder.
Yes. Well, our website is in progress. The reason being, just because of what happened today, it was a great reminder that we should be building our email list. So if you want
Yeah.
to stay updated with all of the discussions and shenanigans that Renee and I come up with, join our
Yeah.
email list. But let
Yep.
me create the email list sign up thing first.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Or just send me an email. Send an email and then I'll just
yeah,
add
just
you to the
email
list when it's
us.
ready.
Email
Yeah.
us.
Because the email is ready. The email is good to go. And I've been really good about posting it on all of the descriptions of every single video that we published on YouTube and on our podcast. Like I went through and I updated our podcast descriptions and gave them titles. So just to kind of go back to like the whole content creation thing, this is a learning curve for both of us, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
like Renee is really great at creating content, like building a blog and building websites, whereas me, my content creation, honestly, I am the apple of content creation. I can take somebody else's idea and then like change it into my own.
Yeah.
That's what I'm good at. Coming up with an original idea and thought, that's no, no.
I don't think there are any original ideas.
I don't think so either, but you know, like it's just it's very difficult for me. Like if you had asked me, what do you want to talk about today? I'd be like, I don't know. What do
Yeah,
you
I
want to
understand.
talk about, Renee?
Yeah, that's okay. That's why we work really well together.
Yeah.
So, um, let's see. Well, I think that kind of sums everything. Oh, I've been waiting for her. Okay, hold on.
So is this is how you curate your information? Like you use Twitter kind of like your news feed?
Oh,
Or I'm sorry,
100%.
we keep calling
Yeah.
it Twitter. It's X. So you
X,
use
yeah.
X like your news feed.
Oh, yes. I
Okay.
live on X because it's where I get everything. Here you can say I responded back to Marie and Lil
Uh-huh.
Incidents official. We are in the Matrix. Um, yeah, I am so, I have it so curated that I will unfollow people that start talking about anything that's not relevant to my work.
Mm-hmm.
It is so curated. I have a fun Twitter account that's my political one and all the
Sure.
other stuff, but this is where I
Isn't that
spend all
funny,
of my
guys,
time.
how Renee considers her fun Twitter like her political one? Like that sounds gross to me.
I know, but see, I only follow 224 people and they are very specific people.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. SEO, Hey Creator, that's about newsletters.
Okay.
Um, this is a blogger that created a newsletter thing. Um, SEO, Mr. Beast. I do follow
It
him
seems
because
like so much effort to like flip around different accounts on the same platform just so that you have a very specifically curated feed. And I know people do that. Like cuz I've done that on Instagram, but for some reason I feel like it was easier to do it on Instagram because it's so visual, you know?
well, to me, this is a tool. This is where I go to
Yeah.
find and learn, you know? Like this guy right here, this guy is my guy right now. This is my gal. This is my guy.
Yeah.
Um, so this guy right here is everything to me at this time because I am so deep in the world of trying to understand everything he does that I
Mhm.
literally just come to Twitter multiple times a day just to see if he has tweeted or not.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But it's all so curated because this is my business. You know, this is
Yeah.
serious. And
Yeah.
so if I start I do follow Elon just because he's the creator of the platform, but he's so freaking annoying to follow because he's not relevant to what I'm doing. But I've been thinking about muting him.
Okay.
And it's not as this is not me hating on Elon, it's just that he gets in the way of what I'm trying to learn at the moment.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um so yeah. No, this is for me as a tool.
Okay. Yeah, I
Like
just
this guy.
you know, like I said, the last time I posted anything was in 2020.
Mhm.
So I feel like back then, you know, Twitter was becoming a really awful cesspool of
Oh
just
yeah.
like an echo chamber. And so it was anxiety inducing being on Twitter for me. So
But here's the thing about that, Nadja, and this is what I figured out. And this is why I started a brand new Twitter account just for this stuff. it only becomes that way if you follow people that are outside of the circle of what you want to know. I
Yeah.
never see politics. I never see, except from Elon. And then, like I said, I just try to ignore him. But
Yeah.
I never see politics. I never see controversy. I only see this tiny little world of
Yeah.
information. And if anyone that I follow does politics, they're out. I just unfollow them.
Okay.
Um, so I have just curated this amazing little vision into exactly what I need to know.
Yeah.
So,
I guess I'll give it another shot because yeah, like the first thing I did when Meta, Instagram, WhatsApp, like when or Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, when Meta was down, the first thing I did was I logged into Twitter to be like, is there anything on Twitter where people are saying, they're having the same issues that my clients were reaching out to me about? Um, and thankfully,
yeah.
like as soon as I typed in Facebook, I just scrolled and everyone's like, all of the memes were already there of Meta is down. Everybody's flocking to Twitter.
Well, I mean, it's still trending. That in Harris County, I don't know why, but
Well, Harris County, we discovered the reason Harris County is trending is because it's the primary polling voting
oh,
in
right,
Michigan.
right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, my water, um,
Oh, I poured all of my fizzy water into my Stanley. So we'll see how long it stays fizzy for in here.
yeah, that's
I
the
mean,
problem. It doesn't stay fizzy long enough, you know?
oh, well, I'm already halfway through it. So
Oh,
I'm halfway through what is this, a liter?
yeah.
Yeah, so the whole time that we've been on the live stream, um, that's when so I poured it before we started and I'm already halfway through it. I drink a lot of water,
Oh, I drink
which
so much water. Yeah,
which is good. Like you should drink a lot of water.
absolutely. But I have to go potty a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, I
Okay.
guess if you find any more updates, like let me know. What I've done is I shared this on my business Facebook page because it affects businesses. Like this is something that I feel like
Oh
business
no, this is a big
owners
deal. Yeah.
who follow my business page, it's CEO Sidekicks, by the way. I yeah,
Hold on.
this is an important thing for everyone to know because it affects everyone.
Yeah, and for perspective, the last time Google ran a core update, I lost 85% of my traffic. So I've
Yeah,
done a ton of work since then, and I'm hoping I get some of it back.
right. Right.
So far, that's not happening. Um, unless
But
something changed while we
you
were on this
also
call.
said that it's a delayed effort, right? Like
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
effort that you
I
put in
want it to
now,
be immediately. Here's all your traffic
yeah,
back, or
you're
you're
not
doing
going to see it
great.
for another like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I know. So
and talk about patience, right? Like guys, if she can put in the effort like now, knowing that she won't reap any benefits or she won't see any of the benefits for 3 to 6 months, like that is a damn good lesson in patience.
that is the damn truth right there. Oh,
All right.
okay.
So once again, reminder, we don't have our sign up for our email list form yet, but you can send us an email. It is in the descriptions, and then we'll make sure that you are added to our list as soon as we have it ready to go. Because
Yeah.
we want to keep in touch with you guys too. We like having actual conversations. Like we want the feedback. If this is the kind of stuff that you love to hear, then yeah, I mean, we could talk about AI and technology all day, every day. But if you want to
Speaking
hear
of
more
AI,
fun stuff,
God, I forgot.
oh,
Um,
what did you forget?
yesterday afternoon, Anthropic released Claude 3,
What is
which they're
Anthropic?
saying is the so Claude is an AI like ChatGPT or Google's Gemini. Well,
Okay.
apparently Claude, they just released Claude 3, and they're
Hmm.
saying that it is far superior to ChatGPT 4.
That's insane.
So, yeah. I haven't played with it. I just don't have enough time to even hardly go to the bathroom at this point.
Oh, it's kind of cute, like how they name it though. Um, like Claude 3, right? So
Yeah.
there's Claude 3 and there's different models you can choose from. I'm assuming it's like free, paid,
Oh,
and
are
then
you on there
premium.
now? Are
Oh
you on the
yeah,
website?
I went to the oh here, I'll share my screen. How
Yeah, share
about
your
that?
screen.
Well, let me make it bigger so people can actually see it too
And
because
we
I
just because there's so much going on, did we discuss Elon suing ChatGPT?
no, you didn't say anything about that. What?
Oh, oh, okay, yeah.
All right. So I went to Claude. So here's Claude 3. Here's the three different models: Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku.
Oh,
And here's here's GPT-4, GPT 3.5, Gemini 1.0, Gemini 1.0 Pro. There's Ultra and
60.
Pro.
What does this mean? 5 shot. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Multiple benchmarks of capability. Okay. Opus. So is this kind of like a it's kind of like an IQ, but
Yeah, I
for
think it's like, yeah, I think that's a good comparison is the IQ. Yeah.
okay.
So, well, hold on. Most intelligent model outperforms its peers on most of the common evaluation benchmarks for AI, including undergraduate level knowledge. Okay. Graduate level expert reasoning and basic mathematics and more. It exhibits near human, whoa, go back up. Near human levels of comprehension and fluency on complex. Just
That's
take that in for a second.
insane. What?
Jeez.
Okay. Okay. That's really scary. I mean, they say surround yourself with people who are smarter than you so that you're constantly growing and learning new things, right? But
Yeah.
at the rate that AI keeps advancing, I like the comparison I feel is I am the toddler that's learning how to speak, and AI is the grown up trying to teach me, and I don't understand.
Yeah. I understand what you don't understand because I don't understand.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. I'm tired.
So here's Claude. You go look it up if you want to take a look. There's so many different AI. Yeah, there's so many different AIs that you can choose from that every time you mention a new one, I'm like, have I heard of that one?
Yeah. Yeah.
And usually the answer is no, or you have mentioned it and I've like glanced at it, but not enough to like deep dive into it. So I take the lazy way out and I'm like, Renee, please explain this to me.
Boy, and I know so little compared to so many. Um, but
But
yeah.
compared to me, you know way more. You are my expert.
Okay. I can live with that. All right.
Alrighty.
So we should go now and
We
then we'll come
should.
back at another time and talk about Elon's lawsuit, which is related to AGI. And just as a teaser to that, AGI is equal to human intelligence. So we'll come back to that.
I'm adding it to our list real quick. So Elon being sued.
No, Elon is suing
Oh, is suing. Sorry.
OpenAI. Yeah.
Suing Open AI. All right. So that's
He-
our prompt
yeah.
for
Okay.
the next
Yeah.
conversation that we have.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks everyone.